Yo, what's good? Your phone 3 here back in the day, and today, guys, I'm going to go ahead and break down the live stream that happened yesterday, which is all about winter in Forza Horizon 4, and there was a whole lot of stuff. In fact, one of the topics, car mastery, I decided to go ahead and make a video all on that subject alone, because that was the majority of this live stream. That was the big reveal out of this live stream that I actually felt. I don't know about you guys, but that is the biggest reveal that I thought came out of this live stream. It was a little bit weaker in comparison to the summer and autumn live streams, but at the same time, we still did get a lot of good stuff. So without further ado, let's go ahead and hop on into it. So starting things off in winter, not everything is necessarily going to be covered in snow, because they don't want there to be a massive difficulty spike in the game as soon as we hit winter. As well, they want to make it so that players can do whatever they want to do during every single season. So if you want to go drifting, or if you want to take a hypercar out and blast down the highway, you're going to be able to still do that, because they just don't want it to be like, hey, in winter you're off-road, that's it. No, they don't want that, guys. So not everything is going to be covered with snow, but a majority will be. Looking at the map, everything does appear to be covered in snow, although around the beach it looks like on the eastern coast it does look like there's maybe not a whole bunch of snow there. But as well, what they did say is that snow density is going to depend on where you are on the map. So if you're in the northern portions of the map, you're going to have more snow, and with elevation as well. So the higher you're elevated, the farther north you are, the more snow that you will actually see on the ground and throughout the world. After that, what we have is car mastery. So if you guys remember back in Forza Horizon 3, essentially they had these skill point perk trees. Then there were 3 of them, and you could go ahead and fill out these perk trees, and then boom, you have these rewards. Well, basically, those are coming back, except they're this time calling it car mastery, and it is going to be done on a car-by-car basis. So I went into full detail on this in another video. Link will be down in the description, because honestly, there was a whole bunch of stuff with this that honestly, if I go through now, we're gonna have a that's like 12 minutes right there just explaining car mastery. Honestly, it's a lot. Basically, each and every single car gets its own perk tree, and the perk trees transferred. That's pretty much the gist of it, although if you guys want to know more information, again, link is down in the description below. Next up as well, 4 barn finds are going to be season specific. We know of one of them, and it's going to be located on the island on the frozen lake during winter. We don't know about the other 3 locations, but we do know that there are going to be season-specific barn finds that you're only going to be able to obtain in each season. I don't know if it's going to be because they're restricted due to something like maybe there's like a river or something like that that's going to block access during spring, or maybe one of them will be underwater during the summer. I don't know what it's going to be. But it'll be interesting to see how this all works out and how they're going to do it. Because I understand the winter one being season restricted because it's on an island in the middle of a lake. And you can't get across the lake unless it's the middle of winter. Or is it just going to be, hey, there's these barn finds and you can't access them unless you're playing during a certain season. Like maybe they'll still be on the map, but you can't get to them. I don't know exactly how it's going to work, but they did mention that there are going to be season-specific barn finds. So next up, though, we did also learn a little bit more about Forzathon. As you know, of course, we do have our regular Forzathon live. We got our daily challenges, and we even have the weekly Forzathon challenges. But what we did learn is that the daily challenges do appear to be staggered by hours and do expire over time. They did look like there were some challenges, like one of them said like 2 hours remaining, another one said like 4 hours remaining, and another one said 8 hours remaining. So I wonder if these are going to change from person to person, or if they're going to be like, you know, sort of staggered by time zone. Because, you know, for example, in the United Kingdom, they're 5 hours ahead of the United States Eastern Time Zone. So it's going to be interesting to see how that all actually ends up working out. You know, maybe like the UK people, their 11 o'clock daily challenge is going to be the same as the United States 11 o'clock daily challenge, or is it going to be the United States 4 o'clock daily challenge is going to be the United Kingdom 9 p.m. daily challenge? Is it going to be the same across the entire world at the exact same time? We don't know any of that information yet, but we'll be curious to see how that actually works out. As well, the weekly challenges, we do now sort of get how many points you're actually going to be getting for completing Forzathons. As the daily challenges, it looked like you maybe got like 10 Forzathon points for each one. The weekly challenge gives you 100 points, and then there was the season bonus where if you complete 7 daily challenges, you will also earn an additional 30 Forzathon points to be spent in the Forzathon shop. So now let's talk about the Forzathon shop and what kind of items you can actually go ahead and purchase. For example, some of the items included horns. You can also buy wheel spins and super wheel spins, and it looks like regular wheel spins will cost 10 Forzathon points, and super wheel spins will cost 50 Forzathon points, which leads me to believe that there is gotta be some kind of rarity addition with the super wheel spins, because it's essentially 3 wheel spins per super wheel spin, and if it wasn't any rarer, like if you didn't get any better prizes, essentially it would mean that, you know, hey, this should be 30 Forzathon points, because you're getting 3 wheel spins at the same time, or maybe make it like 25, so you're getting a heck of a deal. I don't know, something along those lines. Forza Edition cars will also be available in the Forzathon shop, and they will cost 300 Forzathon points. Regular cars, they did have a Nissan Skyline that did cost 15 Forzathon points. Now the question is this going to change as the car value increases? Because the Skyline is not necessarily a super expensive car, but let's say they put the Ferrari 250 LM in there. You know, that's a very expensive car. Is that one going to be like 100 Forzathon points or more? I don't know yet. As well, you can also go ahead and buy clothing items in the Forzathon shop, as it did look like there were a pair of boots in this one. I don't know. I don't necessarily want those boots. They look kind of ugly to me, but I guess some people might want them. I don't know. They were kind of ugly in my honest opinion. So then finally they did sort of go over the user interface and sort of the menus and some of the things that you could actually go ahead and see in here. For example, one of the menus actually has a launch mixer button in the UI, which is actually kind of interesting because it's like, hey, if you want to go ahead and do some live streaming, you don't have to download the Mixer app, although I'm pretty sure you'll still have to download the Mixer app, but you'll actually be able to launch it directly from the game. That's kind of interesting. I don't really like Mixer, and I wish they had, of course, an option to, you know, like launch YouTube or launch Twitch, but at the same time, I feel like this is one of the first games to have live streaming capabilities built directly into the game, where you're going to actually be able to go ahead, click a button, and boom, you're immediately live streaming. That is something that is kind of interesting. I want to see how this actually works, and we'll probably end up trying this when the game does come out. As well, on the first one, this is really kind of neat, because, you know, weather affects your car, and seasons change everything. Well, there's actually going to be a little weather forecast icon that'll tell you, like, hey, it's raining, or hey, this is the temperature outside, this is what the weather looks like outside in the world. It's 34 degrees currently, so you know that, hey, my tires are going to be a little bit cooler. Although if you're in the UK, you know, I would say, like, my tires are going to be burning hot, because 34 Celsius is pretty damn warm, but 34 degrees Fahrenheit, which it did show Fahrenheit, it didn't show Celsius. Fahrenheit, of course, that's almost near freezing, so it is pretty cold. As well, the radio menu. There is going to be a radio menu that'll actually showcase album art. This is the first time I think we've had album art in a Forza Horizon game. That is something that is also pretty cool. I mean, that's interesting. That is interesting. Finally, there were a couple other things that they just decided to go ahead and hit on. If you go ahead and start a convoy with people, that'll go ahead and turn collisions back on for those individuals. And then they also showed off 2 locations of bonus boards, which you guys can go ahead and check those out in the live stream down below. So honestly, guys, that was pretty much the gist of this live stream. It was a little bit weaker than we saw with the summer and the autumn live streams, but I'm still excited because next week we do have spring, and hopefully we will see a lot of information coming out in spring. And maybe after they get done with these live streams, we will start to see the car list go ahead and come out. Because actually, there was one thing that I forgot to mention. There were 3 brand new cars introduced in this live stream. None of them were like special body kits or anything like that, although we did see, of course, a Ford F-150 Raptor that had some little bits and pieces on it. However, though, they were kind of already in the game for that car back in Forza Horizon 3. But we did see a brand new Forza Edition car being the Ford Capri RS 3100 Forza Edition. The Unicorn has, of course, been confirmed. And I did notice a car that, honestly, I'm surprised nobody has picked up on yet. But it looked like I saw a Honda S2000 somewhere in the game. That was very interesting to see. If I'm wrong, I'll go ahead and put like a little note right here that says, hey, I was wrong. But if I'm not, woohoo, I'm happy about that. I am happy about that. So but anyway though, that is where I'm going to go and wrap it up for today. Leave a comment down below, let me know, how excited are you guys about Car Mastery? Do you like it? Do you hate it? I'm curious to hear what you guys got to say. As well, if you guys want to, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at twitter.com/Kurt413 and Instagram.com/Kurt413. And if you guys like this video, go ahead and make sure to hit that like button down below for us, because you guys already know your support is so greatly appreciated. And make sure to subscribe for more videos come out all the time. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace out.